Hello, everybody. My name is Josiah Boyd, and today I'm here to talk to you about the ancient giants that we still have roaming here on Earth, the gray marvels of the grassland, elephants. So let's dive in. Elephants are the world's largest living land animal, and their presence has a physical, environmental, and spiritual impact on the places that they call home. But before we get into that, let's dive into the three types of elephants. The big three. There are three types of elephants that roam the world today, and each has a similar but different trait that makes them unique and similar. Let's start with the first, the biggest, if you will, the African bush elephant. When you think of an elephant, this is the one that you think of. African bush elephants can grow as tall as 13 feet and up to 24 feet long and can live up to 70 years. African bush elephants have longer front legs than back legs, and their ears help to radiate excess heat off their bodies. So let's time out right here and talk about those big ears, shall we? If you can see in this picture, their ears are massive, but they're also shaped like the continent of Africa, which is very interesting because this is the only elephant whose ears resemble that shape. African bush elephants can weigh up to 1,500 pounds, making it the world's largest animal on Earth. Let's go into their distant cousins, will we? African forest elephants are the elusive cousin to the African bush elephant, and while may be related, they have many differences. Forest elephants live in the dense rainforest of Africa, and they are incredibly difficult to count and protect. Forest elephants are smaller than the bush elephants, only getting about 8 to 10 feet tall and weighing around 2 to 5 tons. Forest elephants have a smaller and more rounded ears than their cousins, and their tusks are straight and pointed down. So, as I said about the African elephant's ears being massive, this ones are a little bit smaller, and their ears are not quite shaped like the continent of Africa, like their cousins, the bush elephants. But I thought it was very interesting that their tusks point downward and don't curve towards the sky like their cousins, the African bush elephant. The Asian elephants live in India and are sometimes called Indian elephants. They have become ingrained in the local culture, but we're going to touch on that a little bit later. Asian elephants only get to about 9 feet taller on the bigger side and can weigh up to about 8,000 pounds. Asian elephants are the most social out of the group and are known to make groups of 6 or so females to eat and explore. I thought that was very interesting to find that even though these are the smallest of the three elephants, they are honestly the most social and they like to do things in groups. So that was a very interesting tidbit to learn. Let's dive into the environmental impacts that elephants have. Elephants have a massive effect on the environments they call home and affect the way that people and regions grow and expand around them. Elephants are called ecosystem engineers because of the way that they program and develop the course of the ecosystem they live in. According to the African Wildlife Foundation, elephants are the pillars of the African ecosystem with their environmental engineering because they do things that we're going to cover here, like spread seeds and trample grassland to allow other animals to survive and thrive. Elephants and their massive size create new areas and environments for smaller creatures to live in by trampling grasslands and dense forests down to a manageable level. Elephants are also seed spreaders and promote biodiversity by spreading seeds through their dung from the vegetation they digest. Elephants also are known to dig at dry riverbeds to find water that in turn creates watering holes and even bodies of water that affect the ecosystem and people living nearby. So not only do elephants dig at dry riverbeds to find themselves water, but they are also known to dig at dry riverbeds to create watering holes that the entire ecosystem can use, and even digging at dry wells that locals can use. So that's a very interesting point. But let's dive into some of the negative impacts that elephants can have on their environment. Elephants do require a large number of resources to maintain their body weight and health, which can cause strain in some of the places in which they live. According to the World Wildlife Fund, elephants need to take in about 150 kilograms of vegetation a day, which can equate to about 3/4 of their day spent eating. With this massive amount of vegetation needed to consume, it's clear that it can have a big strain on the ecosystem in which they live, often leading to elephants scurrying and looking outside of their natural environments and coming into contact with people, which we're going to touch a little bit later. Elephants require up to 400 pounds of vegetation a day in order to survive. Elephants can damage healthy trees and wildlife with their eating habits, which can lead to a host of natural disaster issues, including droughts and wildfires. Elephants, when they eat trees and things like that, they tend to peel off the bark, which can expose trees to more pathogens and diseases that can affect ecosystems. Elephants can also inadvertently cause ecosystems to change dramatically, which can spell disaster for a local organism. So things like overgrazing and overpopulation can cause different vegetation in an ecosystem to become overeaten and go extinct over time. So that's something that we have to watch when dealing with elephants. As we said, elephants require a lot of land area, which often leads them into contact with humans. Figuring out a way to minimize conflict between humans and elephants is important to the well-being of both parties. When elephants come into contact with humans, it never really ends well. And according to an article from the US National Library of Medicine, interactions between humans and elephants are going to become more common. Elephants are leaving areas to get more food, resulting in more contact with humans. Elephants are leaving areas in which they normally call home in searches of food because their ecosystem is dying. Things like overpopulation, drought, and disease can really affect an elephant's life cycle and what they eat. So, this results in them moving into more urban areas to try and find food, which often results in a catastrophic event between elephants and humans. But since we've gone over the impact that elephants have on their environment, let's look at some of the impact that elephants have left on the people that they live next to. For one, the U.S. Forest Service posted an article saying that elephants are known to be a symbol of loyalty, power, and wisdom within many cultures, and we're going to explore that a little bit more in depth right here. Elephants are found heavily in many different religions and beliefs across the world. Many different religions incorporate elephants and images of elephant gods in their texts. Elephants are seen heavily in Hinduism and are a sign of wisdom, power, loyalty, and fertility. And they are also known to represent the rain due to their gray color and large size. Elephants in Buddhism are also sacred and shown to have godlike abilities, with Indra, pictured down below, a Hindu god being depicted as riding a flying white elephant named Erwan, who protects the world from demons, if you can believe it. Elephants in African religions are also shown to be wise peacekeeping animals, and many stories show elephants as peacekeepers and settlers of disputes in the animal kingdom. The Ashanti tribe even holds that elephants are former chiefs reincarnated as majestic creatures. My name is Josiah Boyd, and thank you for listening to my presentation over elephants and the impact that they have on their environment physically, spiritually, and environmentally. Thank you so much.